We're going to take you live now to Kabelo Primary School in Ekurhuleni. Education officials in the province giving a briefing there as pupils go back to class.
In preparation for the learners to get back to class, owing to the losses that have already been incurred in the basic education sector because of the coronavirus. It has had a devastating impact. The research that is coming out every time does indicate that we have suffered many losses from all angles, whether it's the provision of school nutrition, whether it's the rate of learners in terms of their reading ability, whether it's just time on task that is not happening in class, and many other educational outcomes that we had since made strides in achieving. We have suffered a huge setback as a sector, and to fix that situation, we embarked on a process to deal with the matter by consulting our stakeholders, civil society and schools, to find solutions to navigate the challenges that we're facing brought on us by the coronavirus. And it was therefore agreed that learners at primary school level at some point this year needed to be returned to school. You'll recall that they were supposed to have been back in school by the 26th of July, but that had to change after the President announced that schools needed to go on an early recess, which means even the reopening of schools from the 19th of July did not take place. That had to happen on the 26th. So we also had to revise the plans and postpone the reopening of learners at primary school levels to the 2nd of August, which is today. So we are out here monitoring how that is going to take place. All other provinces are also monitoring how schools are managing. It's a complex environment. We know that there are concerns around social distancing. There are concerns about what is going to happen. It's a big thing because we have not done this. We haven't seen learners in class all at the same time since March last year when schools were forced to close. Yes, there were some schools that applied to do that, but it wasn't something that was done in all provinces and in all schools. So what we then needed to do was to create an environment, a legal environment where schools that were able to return all schools at the same time to be able to do that. So we expect that that will be the case, and that those schools that have the resources, those schools that have enough space to enable learners to be in class at the same time will do that. In terms of the risk-adjusted differentiated strategy, we are saying that where it is possible, please do it. Where it is not possible, don't do it. Continue with the rotation system. So it is important that we make this clear that we are not forcing any school to take all the learners back if it doesn't have the resources to do so, or if it doesn't have a plan on managing this with adherence to safety measures being taken into account. So it is important that we communicate to parents, we communicate to the sector, to our schools as well, to teachers and school principals in particular, and SGBs, to say, don't do something that will not be taking into account the safety of learners. We need to make sure that we do the right thing, all of us. We say safety first, and we need to make sure that we continue to push that message. So we are monitoring how things are going. Of course, we know that today is day one, and parents would have heard that learners can now go back to school. And we are saying this week will basically be given to schools to try so that all other challenges that they might face in terms of the miscommunication that could also take place. It's always the case when it's day one. There's a lot of things that need to be sorted out. It's not necessarily day one in terms of back to school. We know that was last week. But in terms of the plans that were put in place for all learners to be in school as of the 2nd of August. It is day one in that sense. It's a big day, and we expect that all our provinces will also be monitoring and also be reporting to say how did things go. But as you know, we always give ourselves a week or two to make sure that all other outstanding matters are sorted out. So I'm going to pause right there. You may ask questions if you have. The principal is here if you want to speak in particular about what is taking place in the school, and we will then proceed from there and see how we go forward. Principal.
Thank you, sir. We are happy that our kids have come back in large numbers. As a school, we feel that we will be able to safeguard them and handle them. The numbers, we have things in place, they are ready. Everyone, before entering the gate, they have their masks on, and even in class we do have spare masks to give to them because little ones sometimes lose them. We are ready. The teachers are ready because they started earlier, preparing the whole of last week. Some of the learners that were not supposed to come, they were coming in groups, but parents would just push them sometimes, but then we were ready. As far as last week, we've been ready, and we are hoping that all will be well.
Yeah, right. Let's start. 1, 2. Who's the third one?
Behind you.
Done. Done. Let's go.
I just wanted to find out, you've just said that those schools that are unable to accommodate learners shouldn't force matters. As a department, or with the various departments reporting to you, what is the plan there? Because these children all have the same curriculum to fill up, irrespective of the spaces. What are you doing there? What is there a sense of accountability?
Well, we have said that if a school does not have the space or the facilities to accommodate all the learners at the same time, it should not do so. And we have also explained what the risk-adjusted differentiated strategy means and how it should be applied. So, yes, it is correct. All the learners have the same curriculum to cover, but not all the schools have the resources to cover all the learners. So it's a difficult situation. It's a difficult balancing act that we need to try to achieve, and we'll work with schools to continue to do that. We have seen some schools have taken a decision to continue the rotation system, and have informed parents as such, and we expect that parents will cooperate in that regard. But if a school has the resources and it can accommodate all the learners, at the same time, then they need to proceed to do so. What is important is that schools must be able to inform themselves adequately with the content of the government gazette and the standard operating procedures in terms of what is.
All right, that's Elijah Mhlanga speaking for the Basic Education Department alongside Jabulile Hadebe, who is the principal of the Kabelo Primary School in Katlehong. It really is, if you like, a symbol of a new phase in the education sector, with all primary school pupils now allowed to be back in class for contact learning. The principal there saying they're ready for this, despite perhaps some of the lingering concerns.
Yeah, I mean, teachers obviously came to school earlier to try and do their best to prepare for bringing all of the pupils back, and we wish them well.
Yep.
They certainly do seem excited to have all of the kids back in class, and we hope that everything goes according to plan there.